Won't let me plant sunflowers? Fine. My client walked into the office and requested a contract review. He handed over an HOA contract. Instead of delving into the entire homeowner association, HOA, contract, I asked him about his objective. They want me to remove my sunflowers. Your sunflowers? Yes, I planted a row of sunflowers outside my house. They came by and informed me that sunflowers are prohibited according to the contract I signed. So I need you to verify if that's true or not. Sir, before we proceed, I must inform you that this will likely result in an hourly fee. HOAs are known for prolonging matters. So these sunflowers might end up being quite expensive. I don't care. This is America, and I should have the right to plant sunflowers, damn it. Assuming he wasn't entirely serious about the sunflowers, I requested a 3-hour retainer. Surprisingly, he immediately took out his checkbook and paid for 4 hours. I prepared myself to review the alleged anti-sunflower clause. For reference, the sunflowers he wanted to plant were quite large at 5 feet tall and stretched across the front of his house. It was a significant number of sunflowers. Indeed, the contract contained a detailed clause listing which plants were permitted and prohibited. The list included almost every plant imaginable, in alphabetical order, including sunflowers. However, corn was not mentioned, and this became crucial later on. A quick legal note: when you state no dogs allowed, it is generally understood to refer to all dogs in general. Conversely, when you specify no labs, golden retrievers, or poodles allowed, it is assumed that other types of dogs are permitted. Sometimes, less scrupulous lawyers might create an excessively long list to inflate their billable hours instead of simply stating no plants without prior approval or something similar. I called the client back to deliver the unfortunate news. While explaining the aforementioned legal point, I informed him that the HOA had received a poorly drafted contract. Unfortunately, you cannot plant the sunflowers. However, on the bright side, it appears that they were likely overcharged by the contract's author. The work is quite shoddy too, as they forgot to include corn but included nonsense like dragon fruit. So, corn is allowed, but not sunflowers? I didn't specifically check the contract for corn, but it isn't prohibited in the plant section, so probably? Great. That's acceptable. I found it peculiar that he seemed content with the bad news. However, 2 or 3 weeks later, he returned with a photo of his house, surrounded by enormous sunflowers. What happened? This gentleman drove to the countryside and purchased obnoxiously large and unsightly corn stalks. He promptly planted them in the spot where the sunflowers had been. When the HOA confronted him, he essentially told them that the contract permitted him to plant corn. Following some negotiation, he agreed to remove the corn on the condition that he would be allowed to plant sunflowers. Now we are friends, he remains an excellent client, and he resides amidst a ridiculously impressive sea of sunflowers.